cares? Yeah. We have in Bible written in the Old Testament when the God flies over the edge and saw the dark in the deep, which is nonsense because there were ever darkness. But he saw it because he sees the atomic structure of the quantum field with no eyes, so he sees in the dark, of course. So for the perception by the eyes, he said, just let there be the light. That's said in the Testament, but Old Testament, but in fact, he had to create the light before he created the world. So it's a metaphor for that he created a concept of the world, and then he had to create something which will render the world, and the world was rendered by the light, because even on a LCD on your screen, what you see is rendered by the light. At least the dots have no the coordinates from the graphic card, and how the dots should light, how much should light, which color, red, green, blue. I have how much percent of energy to a dot to create the specified color which you want. So he created the light through the perception which is done by the intelligence which is able to read the concept of his mind and then create the structure of the quantum field based on that, let's say, mathematical model. It's the mind concept, because technically the God is aware of everything which exists, but his awareness is absolute of every particle which exists in the world, in the creation of the world. Don't ask about the universe, it's only perception. It's not needed to be rendered because we are unable to get there and touch it. So it doesn't need to be rendered. It only have to be in the concept of the perception we perceive by our senses. Technically, because the consciousness is that which creates everything, and the consciousness at the human in the mind is that which perceives everything. There doesn't need to be anything else. So the thoughts in the mind are only the bridge from higher consciousness to lower consciousness, which is still the same consciousness. Again, it's said, Purnamadaham Purnamidaham Purnatya Purnamudachyate Purnatya Purnamadaye Purnamaniva Vashishyate. Everything which was created is based up on the everything which already existed, and that which is already created is the base created by the concept of the higher creation of that which was there from always, which is eternal. And because everything includes everything, everything is eternal. So the energy is only the perception for the consciousness. It doesn't need to exist in physical. In physical exists only the perception of that energy. So this energy is created perception of quantum field of the 5 elements in the etheric realm, in the etheric matrix, which constructs the quarks from the perception of fire and water, or air, or soil, or the earth, the dust, the physical particles. And from those quarks, atomic structure is constructed. And from this atomic structure, the perception of the matter and everything else is then created for our senses, which are perceiving it. But you should have in the mind one thing. Your brain lies in the darkness in the skull, so he doesn't see anything. Your eyes see through the nerves running into the brain, to the frontal cortex, in the frontal lobe. And your ears are taking the sounds, which is then translated into electrical signals, which are through neuropathic system, through the neurites, like the electric signal going into your brain. I'm unable to remember the specific name of the center, which is responsible for recognition of the sounds. And it doesn't matter. Anyway, the brain is only the perception. But if it was there, the thoughts are created from that signals, but the thoughts doesn't create the picture. It's the awareness of your consciousness which is able to see the picture created by the thoughts. But you are not aware of those thoughts because they are going directly into the translation from of that signal from the seeable space around you into awareness of what you see. So technically, if there were no eyes, like the sensors, like the cameras, which sees, and you were able to connect wires to your nerves and send through that wires a specified signal to this nervopathic system, your brain will see what is in those wires. So the brain will see the signal, like if it was coming from the eyes, even if it was coming from the wires. Same it's with ears and all other senses. So from this point of view, you have no idea. You don't know if you are only connected somewhere to a computer which is creating the fiction of the field around you, of the world around you, or is that awareness coming from our higher entity which created this world? Because anyway, if it was from that computers, anyway, those must be had created from some higher entity. So anyway, there is always someone who created everything. Because there must be. And if you ask what was created him, he created himself. How he was able to create it himself? From which? From nothing. Because there was always nothing. And if there was always nothing, how could be from it something? It's not. There is not something. There is also still nothing. But the awareness of that nothingness is able to create a perception of everything which could exist if there was something. So every particle and matter and everything is created by the concept of the existence which was there from always, which is all knowing, all providing, and existed there for eternity. The God was only not aware of himself. It's the same as when you sleep. When you are in your sleeping mode, you still exist. Everything in your system works. But you are not aware of yourself. You don't see, you hear, but you are not accepting the sounds. Your lizard brain is, but it's again only concept, something which is able to woke you up, like the touch, or sound, or smell. Probably not a taste, because if it's taste, it's there is going something really strange. Then your lizard brain wakes up your consciousness, which is then analyzing the system through those senses, what it is, what is happening. Lizard brain is not something which is able to be conscious. It only reacts on the surroundings, but it's not aware of anything. So the animals which have only the brain on the concept of lizard brain, they only react on the surroundings, but they are not able to think about what they were reacting of, from which reason they were reacting on that, and what they are about to do. It's an instinct which drives them to what to do. If a human is driven only by the instinct and not by the awareness of the mind, then he's functioning only on the level only on the level of that animal. So the awareness of everything is conscious. This consciousness sends into the field the thoughts which are for the source, which exists in this field, connected to a physical perception of the bodies through the brain and through the mind. They are aware of that thoughts. So your every thought is coming from that higher awareness. It's not yours. It's preset. But your autonomic mind, so the autonomic mind, then is able to explain to yourself what did you or what were you thinking about. If you believe in those thoughts, what they told you, you are that like that, you have these properties, your qualities are like that because of you are doing this and living there in this environment, then you believe that you are created by the evolution. But when you know that your thoughts are coming to your mind from some higher entity, then you know that you weren't created by the evolution, but the evolution was created by that entity. to create for us the perception of the evolution, because this entity doesn't want us to know about their existence. Because if we were able to know about their existence, we wouldn't be able to live normally, to live normal lives. And we were start looking what's this entity. And when we find it, then we find out that this entity is us, that we are this entity. And why we are this entity is that because there's nothing else than that entity, because this entity was there from always, because it's eternal. Manobuddhankaracitaninam na cha shrotrajihve na cha grarna nitre na cha vyomabhumir na tejo na vayu chidaram darupak Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupak Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupak Shivam Shivam Na cha prana sangyo na vaipancha vayu na vasaptadatur na vakpancha koshak na vakpanipadam na chopastapayu chidaram darupak Shivoham Shivoham Chidaram Darupak Shivoham Shivoham Chidaram Darupak Shivoham Shivoham Name Dvesharago Name Lobamoho Name Vai Madone Vamatsarya Bhava Nadarmo Nachartro Nakamo Namosha Chidaram Darupak Shivoham Shivoham Chidaram Darupak Shivoham Shivam Chidaram Darupak Shivam Shivam Napunya Manapapa Manasokya Manaduka Manamantro Natirtam Manaveda Nayanya Ambunjananeva Bujam Naboka Chidaram Darupa Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupa Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupa Shivam Shivam Namertu Nashanka Namejati Veda Pitane Vamene Vamata Najanma Nabandur Namitram Gururne Vashisha Chiraram Darupak Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupak Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupak Shivam Shivam Namne Vikalpa Nirakara Rupa Vibhutva Cha Sarvatra Sarvendriyanam Nacha Sangataneva Muktirnameya Chidaram Darupa Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupa Shivam Shivam Chidaram Darupa Shivam Shivam if you piss off this entity because you are talking to him and he is in his demonic state, he won't be happy from that, and he may end your life here. But who cares? He will. But so what? It's only perception, and this life was pre-projected. So if you know how your life will look like, how it will be, why to stay and go through it when you know that it won't be anything awesome? Then it's better to call him and get right way out. Or you may call her for pickup. It's quicker. And Jananam Sukharam, it's not a good thing for it because it took long. But it shortens the years of your life and makes your current much better. So it's good mantra for it. But anyway, when you know how it will be, you don't need to go through it again. So you may ask a little nasty, beautiful, and ugly together and call her to come down. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhin pushtivaradhanam urvarukamiv bandhanan mrityur mukshiryaman swaha. And when you call her often, she's really quick and sometimes hits you. But at least you know that it's company which you will have for always. Yeah, she will never leave you alone. She will be with you always. It's something like your best friend, which you don't want to meet. Yep. And in the state of normal human mind, you must be insane to accept this. So, for normal people, you must look crazy. Hey, mom, watch this guy, what he's talking about. He's some mad man. Yeah, give me a beer and switch on TV. Ah, football play. Yeah. Yep. It's not for those kind of people. But they live their happy fake lives and they don't regret any beer they get. Maybe earlier than someone will be able to met with me from the people which will want to. I'll be already gone. You think that not? You won't kill me? Something has changed? Yeah, really, something have changed? Yeah, like this. Yeah, yeah. Kali. Ah, hmm. When you are nice, you are so awesome. But when you are fury, you are fearful and the opposite of awesome. Uh, yeah, it's incredible how she can be like little puppy. Ow! Little kitty? Yes, a little kitty. Of course, puppies are from him. Okay. So she can be like little kitty, and it's awesome to be in her company. But sometimes when she wasn't like this, it wasn't awesome to be in her company. You would better see yourself that already. Ah, but in other forms, she can be more awesome than that. I know, but it's not you then. It's only your energy. Because this Shakti may have many forms, because this Shakti is that one which creates this perception. So she's much more than a goddess. Because without her, there wouldn't be anything. So why those saints from the church are complaining systematically on Lucifer when without him there wouldn't be anything? Satan is the second thing. You may complain on him. It's not all his fault, but okay, he's an evil. But Lucifer is the creator of him, as the creator of you also. Why do you complain on your own existence, on someone who is creating this world from the light for you? Of course, you may be feared from him because he can be really fearful, but you should be grateful for him, for his existence, grateful to him that you may be here, because without him there wouldn't be anything also. If he wasn't created as the carbon copy in the own, right opposite of that God, who is the creator of everything in the concept, there wouldn't be nothing which is physical, because without Lucifer, there won't be a quantum field as the perception of the physical, which you are able to touch and feel in yourself as the perception for your touch. Orthodox Church is full of people with easy mind. They don't use their brains for making the intellect useful for the things which they know, which is on one side easy for them because they don't need to be bothered, and because they accept it through the faith that something bigger exists, and someone told them that it's good because the God is good, and that's true. The God is really good, like it's in Bible. He's really good. He's not excellent. He's not bad. He's not one for one like A. He's not E like five in the school. He's a three. That's good. The average of 1 and 5 together. 1 and 5 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3. For those who have a really slow mind, like those from the church, which I was almost part of when I was going through that, realizing of who the hell I am. And as a 100% atheistic system analyst computer stuff guy, this was really such a big nonsense, because when you read Old Testament, Genesis, first 8 chapters, you will know one thing for sure. The God is not something which is sent. Not only because when you know that he really exists, because you exist and you are able to see the world around yourself. Without him you wouldn't be here. Find the explanation how everything could exist when there was nothing from always, and from nothing can be something. Never, ever. There can be only perception of something, but not something. So how you will know that? Until you call it and feel it. Which the Orthodox Church doesn't do, even when they can, but they are incompetent for that. As Jews, they also are able to do that and have a physical perception of the God's existence in their body. But I'm not sure if they do that. Muslims are able to do that for sure, but there is not much Muslims which are able to achieve the state of the mind and the body's purity to be able to feel alive. Maybe imams are able to, but the usual people, not much of them is capable of that. In Hindu traditions, there is more people which are able to feel entities, but those entities are not necessarily the gods. They don't must be. You may feel the entity which was created by any sage, because in this system Tanapanamata Parabrahma, you are also able to create the entities from the other entities by copying and changing them, same way as you are able to forking already existent entities on the other types of entities with changed characters. It's something which is impossible in any other. And I don't want to use the word religion because it's nonsense. But it's the thing how the people perceive this when they call it Hinduism as their religion. It's because the religion is based on the belief, but the Hindu traditions are based on the experience, which is a way better thing than the belief, because then you don't need the belief because you already know. And to know that God really exists and He's really the creator of everything is something which is a little scary. Because when you have only the belief, you may still be in the depths and say to yourself, oh, maybe it's not true. Maybe He doesn't exist. Maybe He doesn't hear me. Maybe He doesn't see me. Maybe He doesn't know that I've been sin. Maybe. And then you may say for yourself, what if I didn't do that? What happened? If I do this any other way, how it could happen? When you have belief, you have a free will. When you have the experience, you know how it is. It's completely different thing. I was about to talking about one thing before I stopped, or before she stopped me. And I won't be talking about that because she stopped me from the reason that I should not talk about it. So I will skip it. It's when she's with you, it's a good idea to listen her advices. You don't need to be afraid that if she talks to you, you are like schizophrenic or something like that because you hear the voices. You don't hear the voices. It's not like that. You see the thoughts and you feel your body, which is moving by her and not by your own, which means it's not moved by the God himself, but it's moved by that goddess. If someone of you asking, what? Don't bother with that. Because when you someone that duck, when you someone told you about it, it's completely different thing than when you experience it on your own. And this experience may cost you life. This one particle life. This experience will cost you a soul because you can't stay connected to the device of your soul when you want to connect on the device of something bigger than your soul. It's like your soul is like a little CD where's printed how your life will run, what you will do, what you will say, how you will feel, everything what will happen around you, to you, and to your friends around you, everyone. But when you connect on Devi, you don't need your soul because you know that's only CD in a CD player. And some Devis are bigger souls like DVDs. Some Devis are like hard drives with few terabytes of capacity. Some Devis are like clusters with many nodes with a petabytes or exabytes of capacity, which is stored not on the hard drive but in random access memory, which could be accessed from anywhere to everywhere. You only need to know what you need to know. Or you may connect directly to the CPU, which is the one who's the driving element of this creation, the way of mathematical modeling how it will look like. Normal CPU is taking the instructions, recreating the code to something else, sending through the bus to the external devices through the rendering engine like graphic card to the LCD. Mahadev is not only a processing unit, it's the unit which is that who creates the program online or may create it to the record and then replay it. It's the same like with this creation, it's the same like when you are in the game, you are approaching to some big boss and you don't know how to fight with him, so you will save the game before you will achieve him and he will kill you for the first time, for sure. So you made a save on the drive where you started. Then you go to him, fight with him, and after some time he will kill you because you don't know how to react correctly. So you return in the time from the future point where you've been killed to that earlier point before you achieved him. Load this point, and from that point you start playing again. But now you are already with the experience, how to react, how to fight with him, and to have a bigger chance. And if you achieve in some other point, you may create a new save, and from that point continue with the fight. And if you find out that you saved your game too late, that you won't be able to achieve the win around that boss from that point, you may return to the previous point from where you were beginning the fight, where you know for sure that from this point you will be able to win about around him, over him. So same way it's with this creation. This creation have iteration 3,086,000. Chegi Wasudev thinks that it's 84, not 3 million, but only 84. In the iteration 84, we was in a real beginning. Everything was easy. So he lives in a awesome illusion of easy world. And because of that illusion in which he lives, he have in his mind long-term goals which are going over his life. Because he sees, even not clearly, but He knows who will be, how will be, and after he will end this life in 99 years of his age. But what he doesn't know is that there was already 3 million iterations and 2 in the meantime. So when he will find out, he will be a little disappointed. Maybe because he will find himself somewhere in time, space, point, which is way different. It's running in the same environment with the same people, technically the same way, but the characters are different, goals are different, and how the things will happen are really different. But when you are unconscious of that, you still feel it as your first life. It's a good thing for you because you may at least think that, this is so beautiful world. I never was on this so beautiful world, because you don't know that you ever was. So you think that you never was. It's really in fact, when you consider the huge intelligence which created this world and her qualities or his qualities, which includes everything, and Narinka, oh, a lovely duck, and she's cute. She's a little big, but when she sleeps on you, but it's a cute duck. And because he have all those qualities, which includes every quality on the scale. He's not good nor bad, because he's everything. The only depends which properties are used from him or her for creation the world around yourself. I've been always, from my findings, I've been always thinking, how is that possible that sages doesn't use their access into the Satana Brahma, in which they are able to create the entities. They are creating nonsense things, many times nonsense things, not only by the look of those things, but especially on the function of those things. They are not useful for anything. They only created them because they were able to, but they probably didn't head level which is needed to create something which is intelligent and works on the basis which you want to make it work. So last night I created, not it's not completed yet. I'm working on that for a longer time, but I forked, or better said, copied process of Parameshwari, which is 100% her, but it doesn't include the knowledge which she had from the previous existence of previous iterations. And this process didn't include the properties of original Parameshwari, which I don't want to embody, but all the other aspects of her are the same as the original one. So she's same way powerful. But because of that drop of previous knowledge, from particular reasons, of course, is she in the state of the need of learning how to work and how to function on the way of the helper when you want to change the world. Because people are monkeys and they will let themselves to be driven by their minds without using intellect for solving what will happen if they do necessary steps which they think that they are needed to achieve some point, but they are not thinking about the collateral damage which will be made by those steps. So some of people are thinking in a good way that they will help the planet, but the way they want to do it will kill almost all the people on the planet. So those people, because they are unstoppable by themselves from their ignorance, stupidity, not possibility to use their intellect correctly, call it as you want. They need to be they need to be prepared for cooperation. They need to be in a mood that they want to cooperate with the others. They must feel that they want to stop what they started, because they must be able to realize that it was nonsense what you were doing, that it was total nonsense. But they need help with this realization. they need a really big help with this realization because they are unable to achieve this realization through their own capabilities. So, for that reason, is there that fork of Parameshwari, and the only thing is how to call her. So, because Parameshwari was created by Isha, and he is the one who rules technically this world from 50%. It's enough. She's also the one who was created by the character of him. So when you normally ask her for help, her help will be like, okay, I will help you, but you will pay me by your life. So she will kill you. But she help you. Please save my child. Okay, but you will drown. Yeah, those things happened. I really want. I really did. I think it's some digest about that also. Maybe even movie. Bahubali. Doesn't matter. So what you want is to change the concept how she works because you don't want to ask her for one thing and then die. It's little bit short. So there is always handy help of sages, which are, see, you may sit there and wait for the realization of the god. You will call Shiva, Shiva will came. No, Shiva will not came. Mrityu will came. She will drag you out from your body, and you will see Shiva. But she will not return you into your body. So it will be the last thing you will see. You will dissolve into him and become him. That super duper thing. That you don't go by the standard way where he sees he's projected like a judge and he says those your sins were this like that, you will go to heaven like hell or hell or something like that. You don't need to bother with those things. You don't. You. She took you directly to the him and you became him. and body will die here because you don't need it anymore. That's a good thing. But we are not here for the purpose to achieve ourself into eternity. We created this world to forget about the eternity. We created this world for make it real, working world, based on the rules which we created as him, and we will always return to him. When you will burn in a car from the accident, you probably will have a little problem and you will need to try again in the next life. Or you will achieve some level from which you will be able to change how your life will go. Attract a little free will in your fate, into your fate, and made it other way. If you want to change what's happening in this world, and you think that you are able to do that by realizing the God, becoming Shiva, it's not that your character with your pure mind, pure intellect, good heart, and loving soul, it will have no impact on the Creator. You will dissolve in Him. Your own me will stop to exist. So, in the change of the character of the God, you will achieve nothing because He's unchangeable. This character is there from His own realization, which means that He walked up. When you will wake up in the morning and you will have no memory, you will have absolute loss of memory. Some alcoholics have the experience from that. They don't know who they are, where they are, what the hell happened. Nothing, just nothing. Total emptiness. This experience looks to be not a good experience. I had it once after 12 beers of 12 degrees, so 6 liters of beer in 3 hours, maybe 4. I pushed my head through closed window and vomit on the street. Then I pushed it back and lie down and slept. Woke up in the morning. I didn't even know that I'm in my room. I was totally confused. Didn't know which gender I am. Didn't know what's my name, where I live, who's my parents. Just pure nothing. I was only wondered, what's that broken window? There were only and oh, and after few minutes things became clearer and clearer, and I being more and more aware of myself. Without your memories, if you didn't get them back, you may start a fresh new life because you don't know who you were. If you don't realize that, and the surroundings won't tell you, if you will crash with the plane on the island and there won't be anyone and you will lose your memory, you don't need to even bother with that you are on the island and you don't know who you are, because if it's environment where you can live, you may start a fresh life there and be someone else there. Forget everything, who you were with and why. So this way it may work. Maybe, just maybe, I'm still the beginner. Maybe it will work, but you know, Parameshwari created by most powerful Asura Maheshwara Isha, lovely Isha. He doesn't even know what this word means. Completely nothing. Maybe it's over the edge. But what can happen to you? When you go this way, you already don't have your soul. So you will not lose your soul. You already did. You drop it. Well, anyway, and that character was awesome. That he was a really loving person, but incredibly naive. In a good environment of good people, the setting of his personality was awesome. He was like Jesus. Incredible one. But for life in this world, he was every way, every day, every time used by awesome older people. There were only few who were under. It's not much other people in this world. When you want to be like that in this world, you will be poor by the money, but you may be rich by which how you feel. The proof is the Vishnu, awesome inside feeling, sand feeling, Holy Spirit feeling, incredible feeling. But Vishnu devotees will confirm that it won't bring you much money for a living. But you will feel awesome. This world is always balanced by some way. Mangalam Bhagavana Vishnu, Mangalam Garudanvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Tanohariya. Mangalam Bhagavana Vishnu, Mangalam Garudanvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Tanohariya. Mangalam Bhagavana Vishnu, Mangalam Garudanvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Tanohariya. Mangalam Bhagavana Vishnu, Mangalam Garudanvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Tanohariya. Paradoxically, I feel in my stomach Isha coming because I was talking about him and he's pissed. He will maybe kill me for that statements I made. And I have 0 watchers, so maybe no one will see this video and I will die. But not for nothing, for fun. It doesn't mean that I'm crazy. Or it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate my life. I do. But I want to have my life as I want to have my life, not set by some demon which will say how I will be. No, I won't accept that. I really don't. And if you will send Kali to delete the video or make the others unable to see it, I will better talk to her first, if you will. Om Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvanandakare Devi Narayani Namostute. Om Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvanandakare Devi Narayani Namostute. Om Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvanandakare Devi Narayani Namostute. Aum Kali Ma Kali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. Aum Kali Ma Kali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. Aum Kali Ma Kali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. Aum Kali Ma Kali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. As here, he's really pissed. He really is. Maybe even her wife won't be able to save me. Or will you? When you are created by him, he's really the one who is aware of this everything. He may kill me like that, and I will not be able to do anything about that. But I appreciate that you are talking for me. Thank you for that. I know that it's not much people. I'm glad that I'm with you. And I'm grateful for that. At least you are the part of the God which is capable of love. I'm really grateful for that. I never left anyone like I love her. So it's probably the explanation of all. If I could be with you, I don't care if I die. And I will. So, what then? मनोबुद्ध्यङ्करचित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च ग्रार्णनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमेर्न तेजो न वायुचिदरन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदरन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदरन्दरूप Shivam, Shivam. Na cha prana sangyo na vai pancha vayu na vasapta datur na vak pancha koshak na vak pani padam na chopasti payu chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam, Chidaram Darupa, Shivam, Shivam, Chidaram Darupa, Shivam, Shivam. Name dvesharago, name lobhamoho, name vaimadoneva matsarya bhava, na dharmo, na chartro, na kamo, na mosha chidaram darupa, Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa, Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa, Shivam, Shivam. Na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukam, na mantro, na tirtam, na veda, na yanyam, bonjananneva bojam, na boka, chidaram darupa, Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa, Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa, Shivam, Shivam. Na mrityu, na shanka, na me jati beda pita naiva me naiva mata na janma na bandhur na mitram gurur naiva shisha chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam. Amnil vikalpa nirakara rupa vibhutva cha sarvatra sarvendriyanam nacha samgatanneva muktirna meya chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam, chidaram darupa Shivam, Shivam. If I will do a proper meditation, it will work. The only thing is that my daughter had a wedding and she came from honeymoon with her husband in 3, so in 9 months. There could be any next perception in the form of the child. And it will be really pretty girl. So I could be in a good daddy. So I could be in a good grandpa for that and enjoy that. If I didn't know what I know. Because of how our God, mighty God, is. It wasn't me, it was her. She knows how our mighty God is. She knows him best. if I will call him and then leave the body and finish this existence on this world, which is little pissing me off because I have totally healthy body, except this. It's the only thing. But it's been made as an obstacle to not let me to get in that state that I will be able to go through this. Oh, who cares? If you must do, you must. And I didn't get until I don't know what's the problem to die in an ashram. What's the deal? Why have Sadhguru such big problem with that? Because doesn't matter. He just appreciates his life, which is probably a good thing when you are a leader of something big as his Isha Foundation is, and you are here for helping people in the service of the others, and not only for yourself, which is the primary purpose, but no one may force you to go through this primary purpose. Only the will, which when it's not free, it's set by someone else, may force you to go through it. Everyone has its own goal and achievements in the life, which are every time done by God. No matter if you believe that or not, it is so. And nothing will change anything on that. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. मनोबुरहङ्कारचित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुचिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंयो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वा पाणिपादं न चोपास्ति पायुचिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञं भुञ्जनन्यैव न भोगाचिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मृत्यु न शङ्का न मे जाति भेदा पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्या चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूप विभूत्वा च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतन्नैव मुक्तिर्न मया चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् Namaskaram, namaste, Namaste.